Now at 9, Indiana Michigan Power is sending their workers to help with Hurricane Ian. See how they're preparing.
A shooting in Texas left 5 people dead earlier today. What police say was the cause.
Students and Ball State staff at Ball State University voiced their opinion on early voting.
Plus, Ball State Teachers College receiving a $1 million grant. We have the latest.
I'll be tracking current conditions as well as providing an update to the path of Hurricane Ian. All this and more in my full forecast.
Delaware County's only live television newscast from Ball State University's Unified Media Newsroom. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening. Thanks for being with us. I'm Madeline Kerr.
And I'm Josh Hoover. Before Hurricane Ian touched down in Florida, companies from around the country were ready to travel and provide aid.
NewsLink Indiana's Anna Chalker spoke with Indiana Michigan Power, who sent 350 crew members, some of which are from Muncie.
Yeah, that's right. After making it to Tampa last night, the crew started working as soon as they could. They will be working with other utility companies to clean up fallen power lines, clear debris, and turn power on as quickly as possible. As you can see in these photos from the Fort Wayne barn, I&M spent the past week preparing their trucks and supplies. The crew knows this cleanup can take weeks, and the residents are on the top of their minds.
Let's face it, these people down in Florida are facing a critical time, and the faster we can get the lights back on, the more sense of normalcy they can have.
Now, there is no set time for when the crew will return back to Indiana. They will assess damage every day and move to different parts of the state when needed.
Thank you so much, Anna. Hurricane Ian continues to creep across Florida, and it's expected to grow even larger before it makes landfall in South Carolina tomorrow.
But now, deaths from the storm are being confirmed, and search and rescue operations are underway. This after Ian unleashed catastrophic floods and life-threatening storm surges. Gloria Pazmino reports from Fort Myers, Florida.
There's really no words that I can say to tell you what I've seen. The Fort Myers Beach area, buildings, major homes and buildings completely washed away with vehicles in the water, vehicles in the bay, boats are upside down.
Tied as the 4th most powerful hurricane to hit the Sunshine State, Ian blasted ashore Wednesday, just shy of a Category 5 storm.
The amount of water that's been rising and will likely continue to rise today, even as the storm is passing, is basically a 500-year flood event.
Residents now getting their first glimpse at the scope of the damage.
Very flooded, it's ruined, completely ruined. The fridge is on the floor, the couches are turned upside down, the toilets are on the floor.
Many residents still trapped in their homes.
You kind of find yourself in a position where you're totally powerless.
With dozens of houses still underwater, search and rescues are now underway.
We currently have aircraft in the air with the Florida National Guard actively pulling people off of roofs in Fort Myers.
And as Ian continues its destructive march across Florida, parts of the East Coast are getting pummeled.
This is my community, this is my home. It's not only for my pain, it's for everybody's pain. I'm terrified for everybody. It's not only all our trailers, it's half of Cape Coral, it's half of everywhere.
It's really jarring to see that footage down in Florida. We are really hoping that those residents are staying safe during this storm. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at weather with Rachel.
We saw another beautiful fall day today. We topped out at 66 degrees here in Muncie. The average high for this time of year is 73 degrees. We were nowhere close to our record high of 97 degrees. Currently outside, we are seeing temperatures at 50 degrees in Muncie, 58 in Indianapolis, 59 in Bloomington. A lot of fall temperatures around, and that will be the trend continuing throughout next week. I'll be touching on continuing fall temperatures, sunny conditions next week, and providing a Hurricane Ian update in my full forecast.
Thank you so much, Rachel. Former Delaware County political figure Phil Nichols died Monday at the age of 75. Nichols served on the Muncie Fire Department for 33 years and was a city councilman from 1987 to 1994. After being a councilman, he was a longtime chairman of the Delaware County Democrat Central Committee. In 2020, Nichols was indicted on charges of conspiracy to commit wire fraud while in the administration of former Mayor Dennis Tyler. This means his criminal case will go unresolved. His service will be on next Monday at Elm Ridge Funeral Home. In 2 weeks, voter registration will end and early voting will begin.
NewsLink Indiana's Jovi Taylor talked to students and staff about the importance of getting out to the polls.
The country is preparing for midterm elections, voters will head to the polls in a few weeks. Some Ball State students are planning to vote on October 12th, when early voting begins. One freshman, Hayden Macklin, discussed that her objective to vote all depends on the research she conducts on the candidates running.
I would have to do some research to see where I would lie, but I am hoping that I'm able to.
Freshman Carolina Stovley said voting is a right she intends to take full advantage of.
Because I think it's important to make your opinion heard, and by just not voting, you're not allowing yourself to really stick up for yourself and what you want.
And after seeing the number of people who voted in the 2020 election, political science professor Chad Kinsella says we may not see that number this year.
So it's going to be less than 2020, I think probably substantially less, and I think there'll probably be a lot more people who will vote in person on November 8th, most likely.
Kinsella says early voting has given younger voters more time to head to the polls and make sure their voices are heard. In Muncie, Joby Taylor, NewsLink, Indiana.
For more information about early voting, check in with your local polls or go to ballstatedaily.com.
And another Ball State news, in August, Ball State's Teachers College was awarded a $1.3 million grant from the U.S. Department of Education for its project known as CREATE. According to Teachers College Dean Anand Mari, in addition to developing an approach to identify and support gifted students with disabilities, the college is also using the grant to help teachers improve civic education across K through 12.
Traditionally, civic education has been focused on in social studies, but my colleague David Roof and I, we conceptualized this grant to focus on civic education across all subject areas, including math, science, language arts, and everything else.
Mari also said that the college is working on a project with universities in Florida and Minnesota to enhance civic education as well.
And now in national news, a judge appointed by former President Donald Trump at the end of his term has ruled in Trump's favor in his challenge of the FBI search on his Florida home. U.S.
District Judge Aileen Cannon is reshaping the plan put forward by the special master she appointed to review the material seized at Mar-a-Lago last month. Cannon scrapped several aspects of the plan that would have required Trump to make claims in court. The special master senior judge Raymond Dearie had proposed requiring those assertions. Dearie was less receptive to Trump's request, which caused some officials to criticize Dearie's actions.
5 people were killed today in what Texas officials believe was a domestic violence situation. McGregor police stopped the incident by shooting the suspect, who allegedly killed his wife and 2 children. Once authorities arrived on the scene, the bodies of 2 additional victims were discovered. The suspect was taken into custody and is still hospitalized. As a precaution, schools in the area were briefly on lockdown. All school activities, including a pep rally and junior varsity games, were canceled earlier today.
Coming up on NewsLink Indiana, see how car dealerships are struggling after a rise in interest rates.
Plus, one online retailer is looking to increase pay to its employees. Find out why after the break.
Riding the bus is an easy thing to do. Last year, we carried 60,000 riders from the Ball State area. 50,000 of those were students. Anywhere you want to go, MITS will take you there.
So, I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
A new study found some people in the U.S. experience levels of extroverted personality traits, and they compared that data collected in 2021 and 2022. They found notable personality changes among the U.S. population. Traits like extroversion and agreeableness all declined in the years following the start of the pandemic, particularly in young adults. The lead author said researchers can't yet say how long the difference in personality might last or whether they will swing back.
Today, Bed Bath & Beyond shared the company lost $366 million during its latest quarter, and sales at retail stores that opened for at least a year plunged more than 25% in that same period. According to Bed Bath & Beyond, their stores have been offering too much merchandise that customers do not want. Plus, their stores have been out of stock of the high-demand items. The company is trying to quickly reverse course to avoid bankruptcy. It says it is making adjustments to its inventory by eliminating a third of its own brands and adding well-known brands in their place. The company also announced more strategies to try to win back shoppers, a new rewards program, an improved mobile app, and new visual displays in stores.
America's biggest online retailer says some of its workers will soon be making more money. Amazon announced the pay bump will happen next month. That means the average starting pay for warehouse workers and delivery drivers will jump to $19 an hour. The raise comes ahead of the busy holiday season and at a time when Amazon workers in several facilities are planning to unionize. One Amazon facility near Albany, New York is set to hold a union election next month.
American businesses are still adding workers. The Labor Department reports the number of first-time unemployment benefits claims tumbled to 193,000 last week. Weekly claims haven't fallen below 200,000 since May of this year, and the amount was much lower than the 215,000 applications forecasted by economists. Analysts say this shows companies are doing their best to hold on to workers as vacant positions remain high. Rising interest rates and high prices are putting used cars out of reach for a growing number of car shoppers.
It's bad news for CarMax, the largest used car dealer in the U.S. They reported today its earnings plunged more than 50% as the numbers of cars it sold in the quarter fell 6.4% compared to the same quarter a year ago. The company blamed high car prices fueled by inflation, climbing interest rates, and low consumer confidence. Car prices have been climbing steadily for the past 2 years as a shortage of parts, particularly computer chips, has limited supply amid strong consumer demand. Used car prices are up nearly 50% from August 2019. And telecommunications giant Comcast says it's opened upwards of 200,000 Xfinity Wi-Fi hotspots in Florida, Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina. The move is meant to help people stay connected during Hurricane Ian. The public hotspots are available for free to everyone, including non-Xfinity customers. Roughly 90,000 of the hotspots are in Florida, where more than 1.9 million power customers are without electricity. A map of public Xfinity Wi-Fi hotspots is available at xfinity.com/Wi-Fi. Non-Xfinity subscribers can sign in by looking for the Get Connected section and agreeing to the terms and conditions. Now we'll turn to Rachel for another look at weather.
I'll be tracking clearing conditions overnight, as well as providing an updated track to Hurricane Ian and its incoming landfall, all coming up in my full forecast.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Emotes say a lot, but they can't say it all. Think your guildmate is struggling? Try these dialogue options. Go beyond emotes. Check in with your guildmates at seizetheawkward.org.
Every day,
Millions of people are connecting
and even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together.
we should still make an effort
We should still make an
to
effort.
get to know each other.
On a deeper level. Father,
Cosplayer,
mentor.
actor.
It's time we take a step forward
It's time we take a step forward.
come together.
and discover
How accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Welcome back. The time is now 9:15, and we're taking a look at the Ironman course that is spread across Muncie.
The Iron Kids race is taking place tomorrow at 5:30 p.m., and the Iron Man begins at 7:30 a.m. on Saturday. Now let's hope the temperatures stay good for the race. Rachel, what's the weather looking like?
We'll be seeing beautiful temperatures for the Ironman race on Saturday, but currently we're seeing clouds move out of our viewing area. We're sitting under clear skies right now, but the big story over the last few days has been Hurricane Ian. Hurricane Ian made landfall in Fort Myers, Florida yesterday as a Category 4 hurricane. It's tracked all the way across the state of Florida now and re-entered the Atlantic Ocean. When it re-entered, it started gaining strength again and is back up to a Hurricane 1 storm, or Category 1 storm, excuse me, and is projected to make landfall again in South Carolina tomorrow, which has prompted the National Weather Service to issue hurricane watches and warnings all up and down the East Coast. We saw those watches and warnings on the western side of Florida yesterday, but as it's moved east, we're going to see them all up and down the East Coast. So if you are on the eastern coast, make sure that you heed those warnings and take the necessary precautions. But what does this really mean for us here in Indiana? Well, as Ian makes landfall tomorrow afternoon, it'll start making its way up through North Carolina and Virginia, and then start moving off to the east. But I want you to take a look at this counterclockwise rotation. We'll be really seeing a lot of wind from the storm, not really a lot of precipitation, but a lot of gusty northeast winds, and we'll be seeing that start up tonight. We'll be sitting under clear skies at 38 degrees, a little chillier than normal, so make sure that you are prepared with maybe some warmer pajamas tonight. But again, those winds are going to start coming out of the northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour, and that will continue into tomorrow too. We'll be seeing sustained winds of 10 miles per hour tomorrow as they gradually start to increase. We'll see a high of 68 degrees under mostly sunny skies. The Ironman race is occurring on Saturday morning. Starting at 7:30 in the morning, it'll be 46 degrees under mostly sunny skies, so make sure that you dress appropriately to stay warm as you run that race. Winds will be out of the north-northeast at 5 miles per hour. But if football is more your speed, I have good news for you. You'll be sitting under mostly sunny skies, 71 degrees as your high. Again, these winds are really going to start ramping up throughout the weekend. Northeast at 15 miles per hour, gusting up to 25 miles per hour at points. If we take a look at Sunday, it's basically a copy and paste. Sunny skies, 71 degrees, northeast winds at 15, gusting up to 25. It'll be a beautiful weekend that will lead into a perfect next week. We'll be seeing sunny skies every single day next week. Temperatures hovering right around 70 degrees for the next week. Breezy conditions on Sunday, football game on Saturday, and look at those overnight lows dropping into the lower 40s at some points next week. So make sure that you are prepared. Maybe bring out those pajamas a little bit early.
Honestly, I'm really excited for these cooler temperatures. I'm a big fall person. Thank you so much, Rachel. We're going to go ahead and toss it to Bryce for some news about sports.
A local volleyball team hitting their stride at the right time, and a busy weekend ahead for multiple Cardinal teams. All that and more after the break.
Here's your sandwich, miss.
Oh, thank you.
And your burger.
Awesome, thank you.
And your bowl of boiling water, sir.
After retiring from the NFL, I've been able to spend a lot more time coaching my daughter's basketball teams. It's something I love to do. Through our games and our tournaments, we see all types of coaching, good and bad. And it begs the question, do we really know who's coaching our kids? Do they have the proper training and screening it would take for me to be comfortable with my daughters playing for that coach? Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to screen and train all of our coaches. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
So if one cat has 4 kittens who reproduce every 6 months, how many cats will there be in 5 years? Who's got it? Is this... What is that? Seriously? Who threw that?
Cats are terrible at math, but they sure do multiply. Please spay, neuter, and adopt.
The solution is 10. Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Bryce Dimsevich with sports. Muncie Burris girls volleyball looking to expand on their resume going into Sunday's playoff seed meeting. The Owls on a 4-game winning streak looking to make it 6 before this Sunday's seed meeting in hopes of getting the top seed. After securing an undefeated conference record and a conference championship in their win over Park Tudor last Saturday, the 17-8 Owls look to finish the season against 4 non-conference opponents. Head coach Jim Craig expresses the importance of this final week of games as he finishes his 46th year of coaching.
This 2-week stretch for us as far as getting ready for the tournament is huge compared to how we started the season and how we're ending the season. It's the difference between night and day.
The Owls will look to keep their streak alive and finish their season strong with games against Newcastle, Fort Wayne Carroll, Muncie Central, and Pendleton Heights to round out their season this coming week. Things over to the pitch. Ball State Soccer taking on MAC opponent the Northern Illinois Huskies at home tonight. The Cardinals coming into the matchup at 2-3-4 on the year and 1-0-1 in conference play. The Huskies started out the game strong with a Claudia Music goal to take the lead early. Ball State responding fast with 2 goals from Tiffany Torres and Avery Fenchel going into half to take a 2-1 lead. Coming out of half, the Cardinals picking up right where they left off with another Avery Fenchel goal 7 minutes in. Later in the half, Emily Roper secures the lead with 1 final goal, giving the Cardinals a 4-1 win over the Huskies. The Cardinals will hit the field once again this Sunday in Bowling Green as they take on the Falcons. Switching things over to this upcoming weekend, Ball State Athletics has an action-packed 3 days of games, matches, classics, and invites. First up, the Friday, the Cardinals women's tennis team competing in their first away meet and just second meet of the year in Middle Tennessee. Next at 3 p.m., field hockey hits the road to take on opponents Central Michigan in Mount Pleasant. Last event for Friday, Ball State's women volleyball playing host to MAC rival Eastern Michigan in the Nest at Worthen Arena. Start time for the first of those 2-game series is set for 6 p.m. Moving into Saturday, women's tennis in the second day of their 3-day invite in Middle Tennessee. Also on Saturday, Cardinal Cross Country competing in their 3rd meet of the year at the Live and Lou Classic in Louisville. Switching over to the gridiron, Ball State football back at Schumann Stadium to take on the NIU Huskies with kickoff set for 2 p.m. Finally on Saturday, women's volleyball taking on Eastern Michigan once again at home at 6 p.m. To round out the weekend on Sunday, women's tennis in their final day in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Next up, field hockey hitting the road to take on the University of Michigan Wolverines in Ann Arbor. That matchup is set to begin at 1 p.m. Finally, to end the jam-packed weekend for Ball State, women's soccer hitting the road as well to take on the Bowling Green Falcons in Bowling Green, Ohio at 1 p.m. And finally, taking things over to the turf, former Ball State alumni Drew Plitt landing a spot on a pro football roster. The former starting QB earning a spot in the XFL playing for their team in Arlington, Texas. The XFL, an alternative pro football league to the NFL, back after a 3-year hiatus. Plitt briefly spending time in the NFL with Cincinnati Bengals before landing the job in Arlington. Now, moving away from professional football, let's talk about this crazy weekend for Ball State. What are you guys excited for?
Absolutely. It seems like there's a lot going on. I haven't been to a football game in a very long time, and I'm actually planning on going this weekend against Northern Illinois. It seems like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Josh?
It's going to be awesome having the clear weather and skies. And having everybody here, just all the excitement from all the fans on campus, it's going to be great.
Absolutely. I don't know if you guys have been out to any soccer games, but the team is really clicking well. I'm excited to see what they can do this upcoming weekend. What are some other sports you're looking forward to? Field hockey, tennis, what are you guys thinking?
I'm definitely interested to see how women's field hockey is going to do. It seems like they got a lot going on this weekend, and I'm interested to see how they're going to fare.
Absolutely, yeah.
I've never seen any of the volleyball games. I've been meaning to get to those, especially with the coach with that much experience. I think they're going to do very well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bryce. After the break, in just a few moments, NewsLink Indiana's Lindley Steele joined us for your campus coverage.
And we'll take one final look at weather when we return.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. Can you help me? I got it.
Thank you.
No problem.
Just like the rules to surviving Zombieland, there are steps you can take to be prepared for an emergency.
It's the right thing to do.
Talk with your family to make a plan. Look for safe areas to meet up if separated. And stock up on supplies. It's never too early to get prepared, so start now.
Right now?
Right now. You can't predict emergencies, but you can be ready.
You're welcome, America.
Visit ready.gov today to learn more.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. My name is Lindley Steele, and this is your campus coverage. Spooky season is upon us, which means Halloween is right around the corner. And tomorrow night, there will be a planetarium show showing what planets, constellations, and stars will be shining bright on Halloween night. The show will take place at 6:30 at the Charles W. Brown Planetarium in the Cooper Science Building. Seating is first come, first serve, and the show is free. Here are some more things happening at tomorrow's show.
We're going to kind of look back on where we get some of our traditional holiday themes like trick-or-treating and costumes and things like that, and exploring how that all relates to the seasons as a cross-border day.
If you can't make it to the show tomorrow, then you're in luck, because there will be more showings every weekend leading up to Halloween night. To learn more, visit Ball State's Charles W. Brown Planetarium website.
That's so exciting. I'm actually planning to go to the show on Saturday night. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome, yeah. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun for both little kids and adults too, so yeah.
And with Halloween right around the corner, I'm definitely looking forward to some of those temperatures going on, especially those lower temperatures. We'll turn to Rachel for a look at weather.
Fall could not be more perfectly spelled out than it is in the 7-day forecast. We're seeing sunny skies every single day. Temperatures right around 70 degrees. 71 Saturday, 71 Sunday, dropping a little bit on Monday and Tuesday into the upper 60s, but rebounding quickly on Wednesday back to 70 degrees. Again, those overnight temperatures will be a little bit chilly, dropping into the lower 40s on Tuesday night.
Thank you so much, Rachel. That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to join us again tomorrow morning at 8 for our sister show, Waking Up with Cardinal Weather.
And for news anytime, anywhere, go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night.